A request letter seeking approval for vouchers to be issued to provide uniforms for school children for the next year as well, instead of the distribution of uniform material, is to be taken up for consideration at the Cabinet meeting tomorrow. Last year, subsequent to considering a letter of request, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval for uniform materials to be distributed as per the usual norm, but later granted approval for a second letter seeking approval to issue vouchers instead of distributing material. The approval to issue vouchers were granted at the last moment in an ad hoc manner. The second letter was presented after allocations were made to purchase uniform material as per the approval granted to the initial letter. Failed attempts made by the Ministry of Education to purchase low-quality material imported by Salusala and the barring of a fundamental rights petition filed by a group of local material manufacturers from being examined in courts are the bitter truths surrounding the sudden move to issue vouchers instead of distributing uniform materials to school children. The bitter truths were concealed, and instead what was revealed to the country were the discrepancies and corruption surrounding the distribution of material and the considerable cost spent on the packaging and the distribution channels. If fraud or corruption in the process did take place, then ideally action should have been taken against those responsible. A decision may be reached at the Cabinet meeting tomorrow to refrain from spending a considerable amount on the packaging and transportation of uniform material for distribution among the children of taxpayers, as it is not feasible to do so. However, it is ironic that the tax money of the general public is being spent on the transportation and facilities of ministers as though the money were peanuts. The letter tabled on the 27th of last month, seeking approval to continue the voucher system to provide school uniforms to students for the upcoming year as well, states that a considerable amount of money was saved through the issuing of vouchers this year.
Since it is a nuisance to obtain material with the vouchers, a large number of families did not use the vouchers to purchase material. That is the saving that is being referred to.
By tabling a letter stating that the first experiment of issuing vouchers to purchase uniform material was a success, although a mechanism does not exist to ensure that all school students receive the vouchers and whether all students in fact use the vouchers to purchase uniform material, is clearly misleading the Cabinet of Ministers.
A National Uniform Day has been declared and all students have to attend school on that particular day dressed in their school uniforms. But so far, no such day has been observed. When we request parents to visit the schools on one particular day, they do not adhere to it and instead visit the schools several times a month. Sometimes they take the voucher but return on another day stating that there is something wrong with the voucher. It has become a hindrance to the education activities in school.
According to this letter, a considerable sum of money was saved through the voucher system this year as no costs were incurred on packaging, transport and quality requirements. But not allocating funds to ensure the quality of the material simply goes to show the absence of standards to measure the quality of the uniform materials. This letter notes that due to the voucher system, students were able to obtain high-quality uniforms. Yet the reality is quite different. This is because the low-quality material imported by Salusala were made available through Satusa for children residing in rural parts of the country. Is it not a joke that a government which cannot manufacture quality uniform material in the country by only importing the necessary raw material is speaking about an aim to create 1 million jobs in the country?